So lately there's been conversation about a black James Bond, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on what if they actually had a black James Bond, why I think it doesn't freaking matter, and why I honestly, it's just my explanation as to why I think a black James Bond doesn't matter. But before we get into the rest of the video, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notification bells. That way you can be notified of future content here on the channel. My name is Isaac, and I am the host of this hereby multiverse of movies where we talk about movie news, trailer reactions, movie reviews, anything in the wonderful world of movies. Whether you're a fan of Matrix, Terminator, Marvel, Star Wars, DC, whatever franchise you belong to, if you're a James Bond fan, then this is the right place. I actually already did a No Time to Die review on my channel, so if you want to get a non-spoiler review, it is up on my channel. I recommend you go watch it. And now let's talk about a black James Bond. Now, I've said this in the past, and I'll keep saying this till I die, but the race of a character 95% of the time is the most unimportant thing towards a character. And race swapping to me, and this also applies to gender swapping or any kind of swapping about the character's personality or what the character is like, to me, 95% of the time, it doesn't mean crap. I could care less. At the end of the day, the only thing that's important is make a good story. If that character happens to be Asian, great, make that a great story. If the character happens to be white, make that a great story. If the character happens to be black, Hispanic, gay, bisexual, whatever, just make it a good movie. Make it a good movie. That's all I'm there for. I'm not there to see a person of color. I'm there to see a movie. And so, if there was a black James Bond, I'm fine with it. And I'm about to explain why. Now, there are certain characters that I don't recommend race swapping. Black Panther should not be white. Why? You obviously know if you've seen the movie. Batman, I would say more than likely don't race swap him, because part of Bruce Wayne is being this rich, privileged guy who uses his privilege for the good in Gotham. Some characters you can't race swap because, I mean, it's like, it just doesn't, like, some characters, part of their identity is their skin or their gender or their race. Like, for example, you can't make Superman a girl because we already got Supergirl, so there's no point to that. And there's a few exceptions. And, like, for example, I wouldn't recommend making Harley Quinn a guy because part of Harley Quinn is because she's a girl who was tortured by the Joker. It's just some characters have specific things where you can't change their race or anything. James Bond is not one of them. Now, James Bond, when we think of James Bond, we think this suave guy who he wears nice tux, has freshly nice trimmed hair, groomed, gets all the girls, and just does amazing action and fights and and he's just this suave guy. He's basically what every man wants to be like. His race has never been a part of them. And yes, ever since the 60s, James Bond has been a white male. That's true. But it's not been his identity. When I'm thinking about James Bond, and so do most people, when I think about James Bond, I'm thinking the nice, suave guy, the guy who gets the girls, the guy who is just so cool. Everyone wants to be like him. He has the license to kill, and yet he's just acting calm and chill about it. He's just like, hey, I'm killing, haha. More like that. Suave, nice trimmed hair. I never look at his skin and think, oh, that's a big factor to his story. Doesn't make sense. So when I hear people say, oh my God, virtue signaling, oh my God, Hollywood is forcing an agenda down our throats, I'm thinking to myself, but James Bond's most important attribute is not him being white. It's not. Simple. Like, I think everyone in the comment sections can agree that one of the most important things of James Bond is not his race. Can we agree on that? I think that's something we can all agree on. His race has never been an important part of his character. Yes, he's always been white. That is true. It's true. But so was his black hair, his dark hair. Guess what? Then Daniel Craig came. There were protests for that, but now nobody cares. I don't see any YouTube channel complaining about, oh, but Daniel Craig's not James Bond because his hair color is not black. It's like, that's not a part. So it clearly shows you that it becomes irrelevant eventually. So the skin pigmentation of James Bond has never been a factor, has never been an important part of the character. So if they were to race swap, there would be no issue. But now here comes the other topic. Is it an agenda? Is it a forced driven agenda? I always hear this from these YouTube channels saying they're forcing virtue signaling and they're forcing an agenda on us. Okay. I'm sorry, but when I hear that pure stupidity of an agenda of having hatred towards race swaps and gender swapping, I'm sorry, but the agenda is not on Hollywood. It's on you. Sure, is there an agenda in Hollywood? Sure, but so do you. If you're mad after every race swap and after every kind of like race swap, gender swap, or any kind of swapping of a character that's not unimportant to the character's identity, then you're with the agenda. You're the one with the agenda. I'm sorry, but it's just that simple. And a black James Bond does not matter. Now, Steven Crowder. I don't talk about these political YouTubers a lot, but Steven Crowder was saying how it wouldn't make sense because a black James Bond wouldn't be able to blend in as well as a white James Bond when he goes to like Europe and stuff like that. I find that stupid because James Bond in previous installments in the franchise has gone to Africa. He has gone to Africa. How come that's not being used as an example? Like, Steven Crowder kept saying, oh, black James Bond wouldn't be able to blend in. I'm sorry, but James Bond has been to Africa. What do you mean he can't blend in? So that's already debunked. That there's no point in that debate. And honestly, the only thing about a person's, a character's identity about James Bond that I care is be suave, be cool, be awesome, have a license to kill, great at action. It's that simple. And maybe, more than likely, have a British accent. Because let's be honest, a British accent is what is part of what makes Bond cool. So when I hear rumors of Idris Elba potentially being the next Bond, I think it's cool. I would, if I was personally a Hollywood executive, I would choose either Idris or Henry Cavill. I would personally go more for Idris because he has more of that suaveness to him than Henry Cavill. Although I love Henry Cavill, and I mean, he's in the background here. You can see posters with his face as Superman, and I love him as Superman. But I think Idris Elba has more of that suave. But then again, it's irrelevant. We have to wait to read the script. But that's just something I wanted to mention. Get out my head, because again, I have not seen a good debate. It's the same thing with a black Superman. Just because the character's been like that for years, it doesn't mean it factors into what the character's identity is. He just happens to be a white guy. When I think of Superman, I'm thinking son of Krypton, a beacon of hope, symbol of hope, red cape, black suit. I mean, not black suit, blue suit, and he's just awesome. He's OP. He's powerful. He's strong, and he believes in protecting justice. I don't think about him being a white guy. Not only that, but he's an alien, so it doesn't matter. A black Superman does not change how good the movie is. That's something I forgot to say. A race swapping of a character does not affect how good or bad a movie is. It's that simple. It's that simple. Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey is a good example. Look, I like Birds of Prey. I understand most people don't like it, but let's admit a fact. Birds of Prey, to the people who didn't like it, Birds of Prey did not suck because they changed Black Canary to being black. If you hate that movie, it's probably for more other reasons. But all right now, everyone who doesn't like Birds of Prey, please let me know. Was part of the reason why you didn't like the movie, was it because Black Canary was black instead of white like in the comics? Obviously not. That didn't affect how good or bad the movie is. And same thing with me. It didn't affect how good the movie was. It just, an actress plays a character. Like Black Canary. Just because she's black, it didn't make the movie better for me, nor should it make it worse. It's that simple. And a lot of times these, like Ghostbusters 2016. I hate that movie. I hate that all-female Ghostbusters movie. But everyone keeps claiming that the reason why the movie sucked was because there's that women, they're forcing feminism. That movie did not suck because of feminism. That movie sucked because it was horrible. It's simple as that. That movie sucked because the writing was terrible. I believe they improvised a lot of the movie, so that goes into how bad the movie is. And the actresses, I don't like being that person, but none of the actresses really ever convinced me in other movies, except Kristen Wiig. But everyone else, I've never been convinced by them. I've never been entertained by the kinds of projects that they've given me. And a lot of people keep claiming that the reason the movie failed was because of feminism and because of women. That movie failed because it was horrible. It's that simple. Having men in that movie wouldn't have made it better. Unless it's Bill Murray, obviously, because everyone loves Bill Murray. But it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. And I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing people make up excuses. And look, there are certain characters where race swapping would be stupid. For example, Batman, again. I already used the Batman example. Black Panther is another example where it's like you're there like, why would you do that? Why? I would even say to an extent Peter Parker. If like Peter Parker does fit more being white, or not really, his character isn't like his character's identity is not being white. It's just more stupid because you already got Miles Morales, and things like that, and they're just characters that the race swapping would be questionable. But the main thing that does have to be said is it doesn't affect the story. It doesn't. I mean, look at Black Canary being changed to black. Changed nothing. That Batwoman CW series where they, I've not seen that new season, but I believe they changed her to being black, or they got a new character. That show was not bad. That show was not bad because of the character being black. It's just the show was horrible because the writing was poor. And it's that simple. I don't get why people make it more complex than what it has to be, but it's just that simple. It's just that. I mean, nobody complains about MJ in the MCU being race swapped. No one complains about Zendaya playing MJ in the MCU. Why? Because that's irrelevant. Her race is irrelevant to the movie. And it shows that, there's no point in complaining. There's no point in saying, this is virtue signaling. Is it really? You're telling me that an actor of a certain skin color playing a role of a character in a movie is virtue signaling. And if you believe that way, get off the internet. Stop believing everything you hear. Just get off the internet for a couple of weeks, months, years, I don't know, however long you need, and understand that that's not how the world works. It's that simple. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace.